it makes every game a cup final when the champions are in town. But saying that, apart from the finish of the season, everybody else has to step up.
Right.
You know, if Liverpool produce what they did, if they stay as they are, then they've still got a great chance, and that's why they're favourites.
Yeah.
Now, if they sign Florian Wirtz, there's no question, on paper, you would think it makes them better. But whether it's Florian Wirtz or anybody else, they do need to make a couple of signings, because this is the perfect time. You know, you want to create better competition, more competition, a few new faces, a couple of different characters in the dressing room. It keeps everything going, everything bubbling, and gets you ready for the start of the season.
Wirtz would be great, wouldn't he? I mean, expensive, but great, because he's a player. We touched on it the other day with Jan. He's a player that they haven't got. Because Szoboszlai, does a bit of both. McAllister does a bit of everything. Gravenberch plays a bit deeper. Curtis Jones does a little bit of everything as well and has played particularly well. But Wirtz is just a guy, he just fits that kind of number 10, getting in these little spaces, getting turned. You know, it's not just about the balls that he plays in. You watch him, he goes in these mazy dribbling runs as well. Liverpool have that from a wider area, but they don't have that kind of player from a central area. And yeah, it would be well over 100 million, but it would be a big statement to the rest of the league. We're not resting on our laurels. We're going out there and we're going to try and cement ourselves as the dominant force in English football, like Man City did for a few years.
I think if it is, sorry, Kasey, I think if it is Wirtz though, I think Liverpool can get away with it, because we've seen enough of Diaz and we've seen enough of Gakpo at centre forward that if Wirtz plays a little deeper instead of Szoboszlai.
Diaz isn't going to be there next
Diaz is going to
He's going to get past him.
Whether it's Diaz or anybody else, and it's not a centre forward as such, Liverpool have shown that the movement that they create, somebody like Wirtz can fit in without a centre forward. If it is somebody like Gakpo, or even playing Wirtz, and then you've got Szoboszlai running past him, getting in the box. So if it is
perfect,
Florian Wirtz,
give him the trophy now.
Is that one of the questions though, that you've won the title by almost like a makeshift number 9 at times? Do you think you can do that again? Do you think, or preferably?
Well, City did it.
Yeah.
Without a striker. Remember when Aguero left and there was a void?
Right. But can you do that year after year?
But then the next year he went out and signed Haaland.
Yeah.
The majority would stand up and be counted. And you can see what it meant to Trent. Because I'm sure under that calm exterior, inside, you know his heart's pounding, you know his head going, I want to have a good ending. And I'm like Craig, I'm really glad to say that it ended well.
And those tears, they're real, and people will be out there saying, the guy's, he's a Liverpool lad who has been at one of the best clubs in the world, and he's played some of the best stuff. He's won everything at this club. And I'm sure the emotions are high because he's leaving a bunch of his mates and in his hometown. But he's gone on to pastures new.
Yeah, and he's gone to Real Madrid.
He's gone to Real Madrid. But I really like what Jurgen Klopp said and what Jurgen Klopp did. Because Jurgen Klopp, when asked, could have come out and tried to curry favour with the fans and go, well, the fans can, they have their say and all that, and he could have played that old card so that he could have looked good. But he was strong. He was strong in what he said about the booing of Trent Alexander-Arnold.
He said he switched off the TV, didn't he?
And there is no doubt that helped the situation because of the respect they have for the former manager.
Nedum, just feel it kind of ties a nice bow for Liverpool on the whole season.
Yeah, absolutely it does. And I think for Alexander-Arnold, he would have been so anxious heading to the stadium today, given the fact he is a Liverpoolian, like this is his football club. And yes, he is leaving, but he still has so much in common with that crowd. And I think the biggest thing realistically, as Stevie said when he was first booed a couple of weeks ago, is that if you have a problem with someone, just don't clap. The booing takes it to that next level. And I think if you look at those pictures there, you can see some people clapping, some people not. But in reality, what Alexander-Arnold would have felt is something that would make him feel proud. As he said, he's probably never felt so loved. And he's lifting a Premier League title. Liverpool's second, his second. And he's doing it at home. And people have gone, for him, it must feel like a complete role reversal. 2 weeks ago, he's getting booed as he's coming on. And now he's getting a chance to lift the Premier League trophy in his last game for Liverpool in his home stadium. Yes, he's going on to pastures new, but there's a human side to things. And for him to be able to feel that, it's always a privilege to look back and realise that we played football, to be able to play it in a crowd. Well, he's lived his dream. He's lived his boyhood dream for his boyhood club. And the last game that he'll remember is one where he got a chance to lift the Premier League trophy. It is the stuff of dreams, and it could have been a nightmare, but he's had the support of Klopp, he's had the support of others, And now all those people made sure that they showed some level of appreciation for all the work that he's done. And yes, the relationship might be strained, but in reality, that moment that Liverpool shared today with him as well, it's one that they'll never forget.
Good stuff, Nedum. Thank you very much. Any other predictions you want to bring up that you got right during the season before we let you go?
Oh, there isn't any.
I'm not working tomorrow. Have a good one.
Hey, well, thank you very much, Nedum. 2 days in a row, never going to see it. Let's just remind you how things finished then at the bottom half of the table. Saints, Ipswich and Leicester obviously down. Spurs are 1-0 up. We should all lumped on Spurs at 1-0 that Brighton were going to win that game because they did, of course, win it by 4-1. Wolves, meanwhile, finish in 16th, United in 15th.